beginning of this. The replay system really doesn't like that, unfortunately. And yeah, the game sounds were really high on the last one, and we had a 3-year-old that made a mess. So, all right. So we're here. We're playing tank as D.Va. While I don't mind liquid cooling in a sense, I think that it gives you a very Laws of Hope Johanna type of feel where you can push this button in the middle of a team fight, but it takes your fountain away. You can't use this button in a team fight and use your fountain. Now, yes, your fountain is on a far shorter cooldown this way, but I would think that either of the other level 1s would be preferable for tank mode, either being able to get the move speed and the healing and the armor, from pro moves, or with the with the just straight up healing from full metal, and it gives your mech more health, so there's some advantage there. Now, your team has a decent amount of control with Jaina slows, with Anduin roots, with Chromie being able to either temporal loop or slow, but they don't really have a great offlane choice here. So what that does mean is your team has a fair amount of just raw firepower type of damage, but it does mean that you may have someone who's either dropping soak in bottom, which is kind of what we see right now, or that we just have the other team run at us in a lot of cases. Jaina's Fingers of Frost, Anduin's Even-Handed Blessings, Jaina, or let's see, Chromie I can't actually see. Oh, it had a timer. That's because it's Time Walker's Pursuit. Might of the Banshee Queen. Alright, we're going to shrink that. So, to just go from a tank mentality here for a moment, I wouldn't pick D.Va in a tank role for a lot of situations. I definitely think there's a place for it. I just myself am not going to run her because I think that there's either bruisers who tank better or tanks who tank better. Now, she does have some unique stuff. Defense Matrix is fantastic as an ability, being able to just reduce damage by 50%. Jaina goes down in the off lane. Oh, Sonya must be camping right now. That's why Vala is down there. And I don't know where we picked D.Va in the draft or at all. For all I know, this is a quick match. But, and I should probably stop hovering on that side of the screen. But I would have liked someone with just more direct crowd control for going against Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis really thrives in an environment where no one can get a full interrupt on his abilities. And so even Uther provides some immediate crowd control onto I think the game would actually do well if they had offlane Joe. But being able to shut him off with that, now your level 4 is your defense matrix, so aggression matrix, which is fine. I don't feel like you really needed anything here. I actually really like aggression matrix when I do play D.Va. Again, I tend to play her in a bruiser role, not the tank role. But she can definitely sponge a lot of health. She can definitely control a team fight through defense matrix and give her team the edge as far as damage. plus she can zone decently well with her mech explosion and such. Rush down, well, I guess that's the name of the ability, but boosters is is fantastic for being able to use it as an escape or a chase tool. But if say for example you had a Garrosh, a Johanna, an ETC, a Muradin, all of who have a direct stun built into their kit. Now you did hit the nitrous, which, oh, yeah, sorry. I was misremembering for a second there. But hit the nitrous is nice in that it gives you that initial stun, but it means that you have to commit boosters to it. And so you have to move forward to be able to get that. And that's going to make it very difficult to stop Mal'Ganis when he is using either of his ults, which I fear may have devastating consequences for us after tens come online. Now, as far as D.Va gameplay in general, I would tell you there is nothing wrong with essentially just using Mech Explosion off of cooldown, because you want to be able to just self-destruct, clear the wave, and get to the next lane. There's nothing necessarily gained from having your mech at full charge other than the threat of using it. Now that threat can be a big deal, but if it's saving a keep or saving your mech, we want to use the mech to save the keep. And that's just something that even if you're double soaking on Towers of Doom, I don't think it's a bad idea to use your mech self-destruct every once in a while for that. So the other team hit 10 first. We're really close to a turn-in. I would say if we had the ability, we would want to hold turn-in until we're 10. The objective does scale with time on this map. Oh yeah, I've got my cursor showing and everything on stream. I'm way off here. Right there, I'm just gonna guess here, but we probably didn't have a call out from Anduin in advance as far as that the light bomb was coming, because we were starting to move backwards with it, and rather than getting the extreme value we could have with light bomb, I think we ended up hitting one person. What has priority, D.Va stun or sleep from Mal'Ganis? So Mal'Ganis's sleep would likely apply before her stun. It's something I'm fine to say I'm guessing at here, because I am, but most of the time, as soon as your hitbox touches Mal'Ganis's hitbox, that person who touched Mal'Ganis is going to sleep. Oh, I actually think you should have finished chasing there on the Vala. So I've had one time where I was able to frame perfect Mal'Ganis with a sleep, where he was coming in and I tossed him as Garrosh before he put me to sleep. And so it is possible Jaina's dead. Jaina's absolutely dead. Right now, rather than dancing around turn-in, you should be clearing this top wave. You would have had time to go up there, put some damage into it, grab a couple experience globes, and make it back. I realize you're safeguarding the gems, which isn't a terrible thing. Well, if you had a charging mech coming at you, Snowglare, I think that you would still get bumped back, even if you possessed magical abilities that allowed it to get put to sleep and stop instantly. So, Towers of Doom philosophy, the most important lane on this map, in my opinion, is mid lane. If we lose bot, sure, it's a bummer, but we want to be up here. And that's gonna be a bummer. It didn't even finish off some of the wave. Right now your team needs a front line, so anytime you can get back in your mech, you need to get back in your mech. Chromie gets ran down below you. And this is where, again, I think it's tough for your team because all red side has to do is walk at you in most cases. Now we should get the Ariel here. Oh, Jaina died to the wall. Okay, Nexus forces can be OP. Okay, I've turned my stream onto performance mode so that it will not have any delays or lag there from it. So right here, both teams have lost bottom fort. We've got more damage into top fort than they do to ours. We have more damage into mid, being as we don't have our cannon towers anymore on our side. So we're very even, but they have turned in a full 2 times and we've only turned in once. I would say we're ahead on the game. Kills are extremely even, 6-5. There's not really a big worry there. So right there, that I would say, yeah, this is Deadwell patch. This is right before the most recent patch. It was like days before the patch hit. Yeah, so 2 instances there where we used boosters. The first one, we came out and stunned Mal'Ganis so that he couldn't come at our team. And the second one, because the initial period of the boost had worn off, we no longer got the stun from it, and he was able to still ult. And that's why I would say if we're going to run D.Va in our tank position, we need somebody else that can have that kind of lockdown, whether it is an Uther. Yeah, I like just ditching the mech there. Oh, unfortunate for her. She came back right as... So now we just need a siege. And yes, you have enough gems to turn in, but again, the team doesn't have a front line, and we just killed 4 people. I would rather that we siege, take down a fort, possibly even 2 forts, and then turn in as the enemy team is rezzing. Because by the time the web weavers spawn, 2 of them are going to be back. And so we're not going to get some great advantage out of the web weavers, but Ming was not going to be able to stop us from taking those 2 forts. So from a macro perspective, if you get 4 kills, you find the closest building and just tear it down. Point blank, just no mercy. That building is now condemned for all of our purposes. How the Vala just died? How is her name on fire? Yeah, just step away from the Mal'Ganis. He gets more healing from us than he will against the minions. Ooh, Mal'Ganis, nice. Let's see. Whoa. Huh. Alright, well, I'm learning more about my Spazo overlay here. Huh. Neat. Alright, so now we're closer to a 3rd turn in than they are. We're also closer to 20. So we want to start looking at the idea of that macro perspective. We don't take camps that do nothing. And camps do nothing when we don't support them. Alright, we got an ult committed from the Janers. We want to fight inside the 20 armor. I feel like we saw or heard Wailing Arrow, but I don't know that I saw exactly where it hit. So right here, full metal would be healing you like crazy, and pro moves, you would have been at the highest armor available, which is up to 20 armor. So you would have had 20 armor going through there, which would have meant you're taking less damage. Also, your heals would be more efficient, which is why, you know, heals are so good on somebody like Garrosh with his armor. Turning 34 gems when we're at 17, great. But they lost their tank, and we aren't really leveraging that advantage. If we kill someone, we want to run at the closest building if we are full health and in good sorts. It's not bad to take a camp, it's not bad to take the boss, but generally both of those things take more time. Again, a miscommunication there. I like the positioning here, but unfortunately our backline is also dying. Nice. He had started to ult there, I believe, and you caught him. All right, so we just killed 4. Bottom keep should go. Like you shouldn't be the one out here, and boss is an okay call. So they're good, better, best. We have a keep in front of us. We have Sylvanas who can shut down the keep. We just take down the keep. We will go to turn in with enough gems to turn in after we take that keep down. We'll be able to take the keep down, get turn in, and probably get boss all before the enemy team can really do anything about it. We're also 20s. We're 20s with a number advantage. You may have been able to simply end the game right then and there. Now the boss is going to do good things. We should be turning in, except we're 1 short because we didn't find that gem in the lanes. Now we have enough. Sylv went and got it. The team needs to turn in, or they need to support the boss, because again, we don't take camps that do nothing, and camps do nothing when we just let the other team free clear them. And so we can use enemy teams free clearing a camp to take a keep somewhere else, but we're just kind of puddling around here. And the team needs you because you're the only front line. You want Jaina to turn in, which is an okay idea, but back to the good, better, best. It's good to turn in gems. It's good to take camps. It's even better to take a boss, right? But the best course of action is to just rip down the closest building. So we had a big team fight win in bottom. We could take out that keep, further increasing our lead on the map. Then we can back up to turn in and get it. Then we can work on the boss. But we spent a lot of time just running around the map instead of just doing something right where we were. And so we never want it to be that we don't end the game because there's a camp to take. We want to get in there. We want to rip down structures. We want to open our win condition. Because right now, even though we have web weavers, if we were to 5-man team wipe, the enemy team could go through bottom and end the game. So the boss maybe got us this wall. Maybe got us a little bit of this pressure here. Jaina took the bottom keep, but she might die, which then means we have 65 seconds where the other team has a power play. I am glad that boosters got you out there. So the concept of a power play, if anybody's not familiar with hockey, is we made a penalty. In this case, one of our heroes died. So the other team, well, Jaina didn't actually die, but she could have got dead. The other team then has a power play where they have 5 people on the field to our 4. Well, during that time, it's extremely difficult for us to play the game of hockey, because now they have an extra person on the field. We literally cannot cover every single player. We were just too far away there for that. Only a mech death so far. I like that. Oh, Janers. Now, getting a counter kill is not so important that we should get ourselves killed. Now, thankfully, we have positive pressure now in all 3 lanes, because we have a keep where they don't have one. We have a fort in the other 2 lanes where they don't have one. Yeah, sometimes hockey players drop dead, I suppose. Snow glare, but it's that idea of a power play where if the enemy team can't, or excuse me, if the enemy team has more players than us on the field, now it's very difficult for us to stay on top of the puck and to cover every person. And a power play ends in hockey when they get the goal, right? So here, this is actually a great time for us to have them turn. Their lanes are pushed in. We have a camp pushing. Like, mid is free clear. Totally free. I actually think you go up to top next and clear it, and then finally to bottom, because bottom won't do any damage for a very long time. As soon as you have boosters again, just booster and self-destruct that mech. They're trying to keep you here, and you don't really need to be here. Just self-destruct it. There we go. And back up so he can't CC you. But we don't, oh, we got to kill. At this point, we just end the game. Screw clearing. End the game, end the game, end the game. Please end the game, please end the game, please end the game, please end the game. No, Jaina, you have a full mana bar. No! No! Alright, so this happens to people all over, but 2 of them are dead. Right there, we have no reason to go back. With no Ming and no healer, they can't stay in the fight if we just stood our ground and ripped down the core. Now, for their web weaver, they got a wall, maybe 2, and a fort. Not bad. We got 2 kills. We're going to turn in. We don't have enough gems. We did finish a keep, so we came out clean. But look up here. We've killed them 18 times to them killing us 7 times. There shouldn't be a red structure on the map, including the core. And we don't have enough gems to finish the turn in. And so if there's a point that we can look at and say this is the point we invited them back into the game, it was right there. We should have been able to end the game, no trouble. And you can see my my chat, primarily Zool Rules, going a little bit crazy. But I get it. Like, it happens to all of us in the moment. We do this. We worry about defending instead of going forward and just finishing the game. Now here, our bottom lane is kind of pushed in. We're not going to get value there. But our mid lane has 2 catapults already and is about to have web weavers. Ooh, big stun. Nice big stun. Kill Mal'Ganis before it comes off cooldown. Great. Everybody turn on Jaina. But do it from, or not Jaina, Sonya, which we got her. Next is Ariel. Alright, it looks like we're going to win. Come on, Nexus Forces. Nexus Forces are going to finish the game. We're going to finish the game. Yes. Good job. So you won. So great news, you won. The better news is we can still learn and do the little things just a little bit better, because it's a whole lot easier to improve 1000% by doing 1,000 things 1% better than one thing 1,000% better. And so, as we clean up just a few little things, whether that is tank positioning, which we could talk about, whether that is pushing forward for the core, whether that is taking a keep when we get a team wipe and then taking the boss or turning in. There's a bunch of little things we can look at. As you go back and review this, let me know what questions you have. I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to even go through another replay with you. But just the initial gut reaction version, you got it. But good job, you won. Somebody even voted for you. Glory, hallelujah, we like it. Keep up the good work and keep learning. And thanks for watching the vid. All right, I'm going to go check on kids again, make sure there's not any new messes, get them down for bed, and then I'm going to play some games. So, later, everybody.